Hey there, happy day 853 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting the journey as I transition from the brick and mortar world, the corporate world of business, to the online world. And you know, I'd like to say it's been a smooth ride, but it's been a really bumpy ride. And a lot of times it's been a roller coaster, going down and then going up and then down and then up. All of my own creation, right? All of my own experience, because each and every one of us, we get to navigate, and we choose to navigate, and we do navigate through our lives on a journey and going from experience to experience that's right for each and every one of us individually. Individually, we experience what we're going to experience, and your life experience is different than my life experience, and it's what makes the world a really interesting, amazing place. All in. I call this one all in today. I don't know why. The idiom for today was lock, stock, and barrel, and I don't know, don't feel really strongly about it, I guess. It was one of those idioms that I describe and I come up on, and I'm like, okay, well, how the heck do I tie this to business? And I can always find a way to tie it to business. Oops, sorry about that. It's a weekend, so I'm running late today. But sometimes it's a bigger stretch than others for me in order to do that. But it's a great improvisation type activity that gets me to think on my feet and think off the top of my head, which is what I'm practicing doing in part of that. Again, I started doing it as a stopgap for figuring out something to talk at so I could continue to produce content while I was moving and transitioning. And now today was actually day 454, and I didn't start counting right off the bat, so I don't even know how many idioms I've shared, but it's, you know, over 450, so that's a lot. I think I got attached to the process of taking the idiom and then saying, okay, well, how would I apply that to my business? How could I apply that to my business? Does it have any tie-in at all? Or are there other people involved in my business that it might be impacting, even though I've never heard of it or experienced this particular idiom, this particular expression? And it's kind of like words and vocabulary, where one word can mean a totally different thing to two different people, right? If I say the word beautiful, something beautiful to me, you might think is heinous and absolutely appalling looking, but that's because we all bring our own unique set of experiences to everything that we encounter, to everything. And that's, you know, the whole thing about reality. I remember I used to get in arguments with my ex-husband about this, because he would always be well, that's just the way it is. This is reality. You have to face the facts, Sharon. This is how it is. And he would, you know, throw his reality in my face, but it was him throwing his reality in my face, and his reality and his experiences and the things that he had grown up with and learned throughout his life were different than the things that I had learned throughout my life. So we would see the same situation from two very different perspectives sometimes, and that would lead to, you know, drama and arguments and things, because I wasn't seeing his reality or his way of looking at the situation as the only way to look at the situation. And so often we get into that trap, right, where we're going through our life and we're seeing things, of course, from our point of view and our perspective, and we forget that, I know I do this sometimes, I forget that everybody doesn't think like I do about certain topics. Everybody doesn't view things from the same perspective, the same point of view. And you know, I try to look on the bright side of things. A lot of people don't. My ex-husband was always and we were definitely the opposite when it came to looking at the positive or the negative, the reality or the possibility of different situations. And sometimes that worked out to serve us really well, because we had a very well-rounded perspective of looking at business deals. We were in real estate together, so looking at deals, he would see one thing, I would see another. We both would see the potential in a property, but we would also see the pitfalls and the things that had to be put in place to make that be a great investment. So sometimes that was really good, other times not so good, you know. Just like every relationship, there's things that work and things that don't. So lock, stock, and barrel, the whole idiom thing, I haven't quit doing it. Every time I think I want to stop doing it, something happens, like a pandemic, and then I'm like, okay, well, I guess I don't really want to stop doing that, because it's a consistent thing that people are looking for and they look forward to, and that they're expecting from me. And it will change. It's going to change very probably sooner rather than later, but for right now, I will keep doing it. Because it's effective, it's a great way to produce content, and it's actually pushes me to be better, to think better, and to think on my feet, which is always important. The faster and the better we can react and respond to things, the faster we can make decisions, the better we are, the more agile we are in business, the better. There's major strategic advantages to being able to, number one, make decisions, number two, make decisions quickly, number three, make the right decisions quickly. There's a lot of advantages to that. And there's a lot of advantages to being able to make decisions quickly, and even if you make not the perfect decision, you're able to course correct and fix and change and tweak quickly. So I'm thinking about being all in and things that we're all in on. And I'm apparently 454 days into all in on that. So Get Up and Go Challenge today is the Q&A session. However, I may need to go help my niece move. She's got to move today, and she's moving out of the riot zone. So that could be a very interesting dilemma for my sisters and I today, helping her move. And we need to get that done today because it's the end of the month, of course. End of the May already. I can't believe it's the end of May already. It seems like we've gone from winter. I think the pandemic's pushed that and condensed time. I mean, it's stretched out time in a lot of ways, but it's condensed time in other ways because it feels like we've gone from March, which was winter, to summer because June's right around the corner. So I'm trying to figure out how do I take that, although a ton has happened, how do I take that, the feeling, it's just a feeling we have, right? That time has just flown by, or that we've lost all this time or missed out on things. And so how do we deal with that, given all the things that are going on around? So Get Up and Go Challenge Day 6 Q&A. May have to squeak on the time on that. We'll see. I haven't heard from my sisters yet. It's still early to find out what the plan is for that. Also, Happiness Challenge today was day 144, all about ideas. And I love this because ideas are awesome. And sharing a fun idea. And I'm so glad that I picked fun to be the challenge this year, the challenge, doing one fun thing every day, because it's been such a crazy year. Sometimes we need to just focus on what's working, focus on what we're grateful for, and look for something fun. I admit that in the last few decades, I have not been very fun, and I have not, therefore, experienced and had a whole lot of fun. My life is great, it's awesome, but it's not filled with a whole lot of fun. And as I'm hanging out with my granddaughter throughout this whole pandemic, and while she's in pre-K, which she hasn't been in pre-K for months now, it's really up to the fun quotient. But I also want it to be a more fun grandma. Nobody wants to be an old stodgy grandma for an awesome, imaginative, amazing little toddler, right? I guess 5's not a toddler, she just turned 5. But I wanted to make sure I was more fun for her, so I'm glad I picked fun this year as the idiom, because all of us need to reach for it and have more fun. We need to continue to focus on what's working, focus on what we can do, not what we can't, and move forward each and every day, whether there's a pandemic or not. It's always a great philosophy. So working on that, Get Up and Go Challenge, winding down, just was doing a 5-day challenge this last week, and I am going to launch into immediately a 40-day Get Up and Go Challenge. I did a 30-day challenge in May, and in another group that I'm in, which is a challenge group, of course, because I am all about the challenges. The Rise Up World Challenge was in April. Was it April? Yeah, in April I did a 30-day challenge, and in the midst of that, the Rise Up World Challenge popped into the world, and I participated in that while doing my own 30-day challenge. In the middle of that was the 21-day Rise Up World Challenge, which was really more of a summit. It seems like challenges are going to this summit format, where instead of doing your own challenge like I've always done, they're bringing guest speakers on, so they're combining the challenge and the summit model together to create something that's easy for anybody to produce and easy for anybody to put on, because you don't have to be an expert. You just have to get a bunch of people together on a topic and then throw them out there and interview them, which is kind of like the whole podcasting method, which, by the way, if you want to create a platform that will catapult you into success and an area of expertise faster than anything, it's start a podcast. I started my podcast in one day. One of my friends started hers in a week, and I'd been thinking about doing it forever. And so, boom, I'm like, well, if she can do it in a week, I can do it in a day. So by the next day, I started taking some of the content I was producing anyway, and I threw it up on my podcast. Now, are there problems with my podcast? Is it the perfect podcast? Do I teach people how to podcast? Absolutely not, because I don't even have an intro or an outro on my podcast yet. So it's not a professional podcast by some people's definition. Guess what? It's got you know, 68,000 downloads, so it's obviously impacting something. And it's not my primary focus right now, right? If it were my primary focus, there'd be a whole lot of more cleaned up, more professional ways of doing it, but it's not. So that's kind of what I'm working on this weekend. I have not mapped out a 40-day challenge. I did a 30-day challenge for the Get Up and Go challenge in the month of April, but a 40-day challenge is different, and there's going to be some different things. I'll probably focus on 5 different areas during the 40-day challenge, because even though there's 7 to 9 areas of our life that we need to concentrate on, we don't have to focus on all of them at once. So as I'm going through the challenge, whenever I lead a challenge, I go through the challenge as well, and I do the challenge exercises each and every time I go through it, because every time I go through a challenge, every time I face a challenge, every time I use the challenge process, guess what? I get better and better and better at it, and I get really quick results for my life, which is what I really want to do. So beginning Monday, 40-day challenge. Don't know what all it's going to be involved in yet, but it's going to be a 40-day Get Up and Go challenge. You are welcome to join me on the Get Up and Go challenge page on Facebook. And maybe I will challenge myself to do it other places as well. Maybe I will get it up on LinkedIn. Maybe I'll do it as a LinkedIn challenge. Maybe I've done YouTube. I've never done a LinkedIn challenge, a challenge on LinkedIn. So maybe I will do this one on LinkedIn. Just thought of that now, obviously thinking on my feet. I've got today and tomorrow to figure it out, right? Map it out and decide what I'm going to do. But I'm sure it'll be similar to the 30-day challenge in that we will go through, I will make sure that by the end of the 40-day challenge, anyone that joins me will have the challenge process down so well that it will be automatic for them. So you can use it for your business, you can use it for your personal life, you can use it for any time a challenge comes up in your life. Boom, you will just automatically know how to crank through and handle any challenge, any obstacle, even a pandemic when it comes your way. So that's it. That's all I've got today. Have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, just ask in the comments below. That's what I'm here for. Like I say, I might not know the answer, but I know somebody that can at least get you to the next step and to the next resource to make sure that you go from where you are now to where you want to be. Have an awesome day, and I will be with you tomorrow.